This is Trey Machiavelli.
And D to the Vade, a.k.a. David.
This is No Fine Print.
Alrighty.
How you doing today, David?
Pretty good, aside from the polar vortex that we pulled in this last week.
Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know how many out there were affected by the snow, but it was a terrible time.
I was trapped. I mean,
Really?
Beyond rides that I've gotten throughout the week, I haven't been able to drive except for like Thursday, Friday.
My car does pretty well. It's all-wheel drive.
My car is like 3 to 5 inches off the ground.
Oh, yeah, that's awful. It's awful. I hate snow.
I'm from the north even. I mean, I was born in Indiana, but like I lived in New York until I was like 8.
Do you like it?
I mean, I did, but like I got my fill of snow. You know what I'm saying? Like I do not.
I didn't move to warmer climate.
Family, man. Yeah.
I'd say Texas, but they got snow too.
Yeah, all right. So Texas. Why do you think that they were in the situation they were in?
I think it's a freak nature event.
It was a freak of nature.
In the desert, San Antonio, Austin. Dallas.
How often do you get snow in Texas? Is a great question. I mean,
the infrastructure got messed up. Like all the pipes are freezing and bursting. The electrical grid had to get like shut down.
That was my assumption. Is like they hadn't prepared for like a cold weather reinforcement on their.
You don't have snow plows.
No, I'm sure they might have some, but like not enough to supply the state. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw somewhere where people were getting like $10,000 electric bills too. Heat and stuff. People died in like carbon monoxide poisoning because they steadily warm themselves up in the car and then.
That's terrible, man.
That's very awful. Very awful time.
I saw where some people were like, some of the new cars are basically a generator. You know what I mean? They've got
electric cars.
No. Like, I mean, probably also, but just in general, new cars have the 115 volt amp or whatever plug-ins that typical houses would have, and they were backing their vehicles up to their house and then running extension off of their vehicle. I mean, yeah, if you got it, go for it.
Freezing to death. Oh my God.
I will say that must put into perspective to some people what homeless people go through every year.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was homeless. Everywhere I would get on a train and go to Florida.
Dude, if I was homeless, I would go to fucking jail. Like, I would purposely go to fucking jail, especially in this kind of weather. I mean,
you can make little petty crimes or steal something.
Yeah, go steal your alcohol for the night, get trashed, and then get picked up. So you can wake up with a free breakfast and a blanket at least.
It's terrible.
It is terrible, but that's fucking America for you, man.
There's been some controversial ways people have tried to bring awareness to the homeless situation.
Well, there's nothing better than bringing it right to your front door. Bum fights, yeah. Did you see? Yeah, that's like. Did you see his rebuttal to Dr. Phil?
He actually the crocodile hunter and wrangles homeless people.
I will say,
makes them fight each other for like money and food.
From a marketing perspective, it was not a bad gig. But from like a humanitarian perspective, that was pretty awful for sure.
Like how he went on Dr. Phil and then dressed like Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he fucking spun his ass for sure, dude.
Oh Lord, Dr. Phil's pretty funny. He's a funny guy.
All right, question.
Yeah.
Answer.
Is torture ever justified?
Depends on the individual and the reasoning behind the torture, I suppose.
I don't know.
If somebody were to, this is terrible, but if somebody were to make improper sexual advances on somebody in your family and also doing it multiple times, would you torture them given the opportunity?
I don't know. Like what's the law by?
I feel like honestly, but I feel like I'm a very impulsive person. So like if I knew that I was like provided the opportunity to do something like that to somebody that I felt deserved it.
Kids, I'm for sure. Mess somebody up. Kids.
I mean, especially kids, but just saying in general, like say you had somebody who had done you or a family member wrong and you felt it was justified that they deserved torture, even if it wasn't like, in the movies, they're trying to get answers and stuff, and really in real life, because the CIA and
waterboarding,
they do this shit all the time. So But from your own personal perspective, provided the opportunity to do to somebody you felt deserved it,
It's quite possible.
I would probably do that.
It's quite possible.
I'm not even going to say possible. I would probably just risk my life and do that. I'm an impulsive person, like I said. I'm not necessarily a vengeful person, but I do feel everybody should get their own in a sense.
An eye for an eye, is what you're saying.
Yes.
An eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye or a cat for a cat, you know.
Can people cats now? Some Jeffrey Dahmer stuff.
I mean, shit, you know.
It's weird. There's like nowhere like, seemed like the 90s and like, well, not the 90s, it was like the 70s and 80s. So like a bunch of serial killers all the time. This will pop up.
Well, the thing is, they're lumped in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I forget what I think I was watching something that was basically saying that Chicago's had 13 alike murders over, you know, like a few year span, basically. And they're saying, like, it's unsolved, obviously, but
a lot of crimes are really hard to
the
solve.
likeliness of somebody doing what the person's been doing reoccurring would be a serial killer, basically. And they haven't been caught because the murder rate is so high out there. They don't really have the resources to go after that.
It is really sad though how dangerous Chicago is. It's like
it is
third world violent crimes that happen all the time, especially in like the lower income areas.
Third world though, there you go. Like, it's not necessarily acceptable, but it's just like overlooked in third world countries. But then, not saying it's not overlooked here either, but it's just crazy how the humanitarian meter works on that scale. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's America, everybody can back here.
Yeah, if it's in our backyard, then it's that. But if it's across the ocean, it's just the way of life. You know what I mean?
Well, I think our government sometimes actually likes to disable those like lower income areas.
We like to take advantage of them.
Well, my mom used to live out in California and Louisiana, New Orleans.
Very overpopulated areas.
Both her and my dad said they've seen like back in like the 90s, which was when the war on drugs happened, like the 80s. So around the same time, the 80s, 90s. That like just trains would drive into like the low income areas. When the train yards were never in like rich areas. Too, and they just have like just open them up and there would be a bunch of guns there. They just get up to cause trouble. Like you can like see other interviews from other people that talk about the same thing. And it's weird because I remember my dad and my mom telling me that. But then if other people say the same thing too, it's interesting.
You saying that? I'm not going to mention the person, but somebody had mentioned to me that they're purchasing firearms from somebody, and the person that they're purchasing from was an ex-police officer in Chicago, and their husband was also. But essentially, they would arrest people there, and if it was due to a firearm or something, they would just keep the firearm and not report it. And let the people go, kind of thing. But now they've got like this stockpile of
guns.
They pulled off the street. I mean, shit.
I don't blame them. I'd rather me have it than anybody else have it.
Exactly. It's just gonna go up in auction or be fucking given to some cocksucker in the police force.
You can buy a lot of stuff off the websites of the police auction. Like
I know you can.
And jet skis and stuff.
Dude, I had a customer. It was like one of my last jobs we did when we were working for it. But anyways, one of my last customers there, and he was talking about how he was under indictment for selling meth and stuff, and he was trying to cover it. Yeah, he was methed up. But he was out there trying to sell his belongings to cover all of his court expenses and lawyer fees, which were exponential because of what he did. But this motherfucker had this little 38, and he was like explaining to us how he'd never shot the gun and how he wanted to sell it to us, but as he's telling us, he fucking shoots the gun into his backyard, and he was like, "That's the first motherfucking time I ever fired this thing." I don't want shit to do with that, but dude, 3 days later, after we'd been over there, my brother bought a 4-wheeler and a generator off this guy for like $1,500. But
deal.
3 days after we had this encounter with this guy, he had a shootout with the police with that gun, with that fucking gun. And I was like, what are the odds?
I'm glad I didn't sell it.
Yeah, had we bought that gun, he would have had less jail time.
Hey, that's weird. Life's weird like that.
It really is.
Just random stuff that happens for no reason. It's very weird.
Dude, he had a very attractive wife for an obvious meth head too, which was crazy to me. I was like,
it's like
money talks for sure.
Rob Zombie has a really hot wife too.
Yeah, Rob Zombie is.
And what's that other dude's name? This fat dude that sings like tattoos on his face. He sings from Nashville. You know what I'm talking about?
Jelly Roll?
Yeah, Jelly Roll.
Jelly Roll, I give some props to.
He has a really, really beautiful wife.
He's on the path to recovery in a sense. So I give that guy some props. But
I heard he has a lot of pool down there in Nashville.
What kind of pool?
I don't know. I just heard people talk about it on some other podcasts.
I know if you perform in Evansville, you're not doing as well as people might think you are. But
the Migos,
the Migos,
they left.
They fucking robbed that promoter in Evansville. They said,
we're not going.
Yeah, they showed up late as fuck. Took $20,000, and this is before their like big break.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say before because it was after Versace, but it was before the hype had really set in. So they took a $20,000 fee to promote or to perform in Evansville, and they ended up showing up late, and then they went out on stage, and I think they did one song, and they like didn't even perform it. They just like fucking bullshitted and jumped around on stage, and then they went behind fucking scenes and robbed the promoter for the 20 grand. Was like, pay up, motherfucker, at gunpoint, and then just
that's
adios. You know what I'm saying? Like,
across the country.
If you're that promoter, you should probably feel pretty ashamed for letting them fucking do that too. But at the same time, if you're Migos,
what was his name? Marco?
I don't know the person personally. And I don't even know that that's exactly what happened. I'm just going off of word of mouth there. But either way, I know there was a show performed by the Migos that was super let down to everybody that had paid for a ticket, and fuck the Migos for doing that.
Yeah.
But
I've only been to one concert my whole life.
You know what I'm saying? 20 grand. What's 20?
What
the fuck is 20 grand to them now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
not anymore. Not to now. I don't know. That is crazy though. That made me mad if I was a promoter. I was trying to bring life to Evansville. And
I guarantee you that dude flipped his money so many times to bring them in. Like, he probably did so many shows with like fucking medium to low grade artists that killed that person. And like that fucking, I don't know, that's just shady as fuck. But
that's crazy. Let's say something I forgot. Jesus. Did you ever take a cruise to Antarctica? Like the Royal Caribbean cruise goes to Antarctica? That's really random.
Royal Caribbean cruise?
Yeah, it was a little trip to Antarctica.
Do I get to shoot moose while I'm in Antarctica?
I don't think moose live in Antarctica.
I think
polar bears
right about that.
Polar bears,
I get these two confused every fucking time.
Polar bears and
all right. No. I would not hunt the moose. But
I don't even think polar bears are down there.
Going to Antarctica, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you do? Are you just arriving and looking through a telescope, or are you actually getting to go on like an Alaska expedition here? What are we talking? Yeah, Antarctica.
I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to go. Like, we could have a little tourist thing where you get a bunch of snowmobiles and just ride around in Antarctica. It'd be kind of cool.
I'd probably do it, but I'd be scared to be like that squirrel off of Ice Age where you like stick something in the ground.
Break it in Antarctica.
You break the fucking polar ice cap in half.
Interesting thing about Antarctica, every country has owns a piece of it. So they like some weird deal. Nobody will build anything there.
I thought it was Canada and Russia.
No, we gotta fact check that.
I'm thinking of Iceland actually. I think. No. Greenland.
Yeah, the north.
I'm probably wrong on both accounts.
Greenland's
Actually,
here, Antarctica's here.
pretty sure Canada and Russia have like a shared agreement of some land base that they like will go and claim every now and then. But
I know what you're talking about.
they leave a bottle.
Island.
Yeah, they leave a bottle of their
What
respective
is
countries.
It's a little like country off like so
Sri Lanka, maybe. I don't.
Sri Lanka.
I don't
Is
fucking
in
know.
India.
I don't fucking know. I'm not a geologist, geographer.
Sri Lanka.
I get those two confused too. Fuck.
I think is Sri Lanka in India? Look it up now.
It's an island off the coast of India.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Alright.
But it's its own country.
You're right. No, my old church where
It's one of those like independent territories
Yeah, there's a
that aren't even necessarily a country. I
there was a
don't
guy from
even-
Sri Lanka. That's what his name though. He was married to this white girl. But I don't know. So, I still have things to talk about. So you can be prepared. Oh, what else did I see in the news earlier?
I don't watch the news, man. I really.
Some guy in Evansville pointing guns at Damascus security guards.
You want to? Yeah, okay. So that guy,
You know that guy?
you know, he was on acid.
What?
Yeah.
How do you know this?
Allegedly. So the police had collected from other people, you know, leading up to the point that they had arrested this guy, that he was on acid, allegedly. I don't know if he was or not. I don't know the person, but I'm just going off the police report there.
He goes to the bar with a gun and on acid. Gets kicked out.
Gets kicked
And he
out
comes back.
like multiple times too.
He comes back and
then
points the
comes
guns at
back.
him.
Yeah, and he points the gun and then he's like, I don't have a gun. Like, they said it was very brief. He pointed the gun and then he took the gun away.
He said, I don't have a gun.
They got his ass on camera, like,
Why? You didn't go to jail
because
for a
he's
long
on
time.
acid, you know what I'm saying? But also, him and his friend had a carrier's permit.
Well, both of them did. I watched the little news article. It was interesting.
That is the type of shit that fucks people with permits over. Like, all these fucking dumbass people that don't know how to carry a gun responsibly.
Dumb shit.
And then you got all these fucking dumbass people that want to misconstrue what happens and use those people against people who deserve to carry a gun because they can carry one responsibly. And
I think so. The NRA. We want to.
you
a lot
got
before us.
so you got two groups of people, or no. You've got three groups of people. You've got one group of people who can and should carry guns responsibly because there's no reason they shouldn't. You've got another group of people who carry guns who should not, that are not responsible and should be taught better. And then you've got a third group of people who are entirely afraid of guns for no reason because they've never been taught how to have a gun or to use a gun, and or they've been in that situation and somebody's scared them with guns, so they're afraid to use them, which
Someone scared me with a gun. I'll give myself a gun for sure. Like, if he has a gun,
personally, yes, but you know, it's understandable why some people are afraid of guns. But also, I do think everybody should be equally educated on weapons, and that there shouldn't be a biased opinion on them. Like, you know, you gotta fight fire with fire. Like,
We're upset Joe Biden for not allowing purchase of ammunition online anymore.
what?
Yeah,
Since when?
it's not like it's not gonna be right. It's not like right now. But
So it's not in
he's
effect
pushing
yet.
that. Yeah, he's pushing.
Okay, well, fuck anybody who has weapons affiliations that are against weapons, but I'm not going to be political on any
I'm for gun for sure.
on any front because I don't.
I think everybody should be able to say themselves. Like I tell people, like if I was born in the Middle Ages,
I don't
I
care
would carry a
enough,
knife,
honestly,
and, I would carry a
man.
knife and a dagger and a sword. Like if I was born Middle Age times, I would for sure carry out.
I'll say for sure, whatever I'm
double
allowed to
broadsword.
have, I'm going to have the biggest fucking stick I can have because why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody out there has that same exact size stick, so
Mhm.
why would you not want to be able to combat fire with fire, like I said? But again, understandably why some people are afraid of them, I get from certain sense, but that shouldn't deter people from having the right to have something. Like,
Mhm.
you should not ever give up your right to have something. And
If you look at the UK, they don't. A lot of them might have guns of like hunting rifles. However, they have more knife and acid attacks
Yeah,
anything.
somebody's
People are
always
violent. People are
somebody's
very-
always going to be violent. Like before guns, there was thousands and millions of deaths. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder how many people died in like the Wild West.
That shit
Like the Indians just come through and just kill people.
with fucking flint arrows and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it will happen
The Americans
regardless.
we scout people on the horses.
We have the knowledge, we have the capability is the issue, and people need to realize that. Like there shouldn't be any sort of like limitation on things. Like if something exists, you should be able to have that in that sense. But you should also have the education to be able to responsibly have that. You know what I mean? Like if you drive a car, you gotta pass a driver's test, right?
Right.
I do agree with that. Like if there's gonna be
terrible too.
do it.
Somehow they passed the test, but they're terrible at driving.
Hell yeah, exactly. And you'll always have that. But like if there's gonna be a control of weaponry to that sense, like don't fucking take the weapons away. Just take them away from the dumbasses who can't fucking carry the weapons. Like if you can't pass the fucking test, you can't have it, and that should be it. Like there should be no, you can't fucking have that. Like I'm not gonna be. There should be no fucking.
What's gonna happen if that
Nobody should be able to put their thumb on me. You know what I'm saying?
If that ever happens, all people. It's like a lot of people criminals that aren't criminals.
Exactly, but
How
how many fucking things? How many fucking things do that already? You know what I mean? Like,
it's a crazy world.
indeed. But
I was gonna say something. Oh, do you think that there could be like anything that happened, like global event that would bring like the world together as one,
I think if we all pitched in and made food and energy like
as a collective whole?
yeah,
High-
if everybody
high
pitched
mentality.
in and made food and energy something that was just like not even necessarily a renewable source, but just like an infinite source, like there would be no reason to fight over
What if you
it.
had like a little paddle, like an energy paddle board, and every day everyone's doing a paddle board thing for an hour, and it has wires that go to like a power system?
You know they did that on South Park.
Did they? You know,
I swear to God.
This is based off Black Mirror, though.
No.
Yes.
You're talking about the one.
Yes, the Black Mirror episode where they all pedal and do energy shit to get
I didn't watch
points.
Black Mirror.
see what
And
you're
that
saying.
one dude.
It was the Scars for a Cause episode
I think so,
of South Park.
I don't know.
They had the fucking. It was this dude that came in and he was selling them wristbands for shit, but he looked like a Dr. Seuss character. Anyways, they all end up pedaling or fucking stomping on the shit to do energy somehow. But
I
in the
kind
end,
of remember that now. I think that would bring the whole world together as if there's like alien invasion. And probably like, okay, we're not fighting this anymore. We're fighting them.
I don't even want to get into this. If aliens are out there with energies that are fucking infinite, which they more than likely are, then we're already taking advantage of them and just keeping the people in the fucking oppressive nature to chase for nothing, basically. But struggle for power, man. I mean,
it would be interesting though. I think it would be like humanity would be like, okay, we're not scared of each other anymore. Or these
it's a
countries.
fact of like, look at fucking ancient history of like all these divine energies.
Talk about like
powers.
the Egyptian hieroglyphics and like the.
I'm just talking in general. All the divine energies and powers that have been in the past thousands of years that we've talked about. In that sense, if any of that's going on, it is still going on, and we're just fucked and don't get any of it because
Don't get
we're,
You ever seen the movie Elysium?
yes.
Oh, did you like it?
You know, if we're thinking about it in this sense, that is actually a pretty good example. But I didn't like the movie as a whole because I don't like fucking
What were you saying? Me and Demon.
You never seen Team America?
I have actually a long time ago. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Anyways,
Me and Demon.
you know, that is a good example for power struggle kind of concept of like
Imbalance.
societal status, you know what I'm saying? But
A good message. Bro, if you could live like that, like we could have a machine, we could build a machine where we can just cure any element you have, just all lay down this little bed thing and just like
that other movie with Justin Timberlake was kind of
In
like
Time?
that. In time, yeah, that one.
Where you can like we can see how long
Control
you
your
have.
lifespan. Basically, dude had like 1,000,000 years or something.
We can like share it. Like you get like time as like currency. It's very interesting idea actually. Have you seen China? The Chinese. You seen China that have like implemented a social credit score? So like, yeah, it's very sure.
So
you can look it up, but I thought you had a monitor.
Like anybody can look at your credit score, basically.
So you can't travel certain places if you don't have a good credit score. Let me look at it. Let me fact check it real fast. Hold on.
I'm not gonna say how awful that is if that's true, but what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they really did it.
Again, as you do
The
this
social credit
stuff,
system.
You're gonna be fact checking it.
as you do it, I can pull stuff up. So just
hold on. I just want to tell you this. So there's a social credit system.
This is a Black Mirror episode.
So
if this is true,
no, this is very true. There is so the reason why like when the Hong Kong protests were going around, everybody was like knocking down the 4G, like the 5G artificial intelligence, like artificial facial recognition towers, and they were like fighting the government. This because they implemented this too. So like they implemented a social credit rating system, which is like a social credit score in China. It's very weird.
Bro, we're not gonna be far behind. Is a sad thing. Like America.
I would refuse that.
We're an industry. We're not a company. We're not a country. I mean,
I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and fake nice to you for no reason for your likes and stuff. I'm not doing that.
I'm not either.
I'm really not lose my mind. I was
the thing is,
I couldn't do it. I was just a person not built like that. I was like, hello, hi, how are you?
The thing is,
all the time, like, well, you get the fuck out of my face.
When they do this shit, it's gonna be like an overnight fucking thing. Like we're gonna be out of the loop whenever they do this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll just be like a sanctioned thing and everybody will either have to deal with it or fucking fight about it. And the people that fight about it are gonna end up in prison like Mandela.
The thing about America is a bunch of Americans are assholes. And so we're like fuck that, no.
That's why they're trying to take our rights slowly so they can take things that we'll be able to use against them without us making too much.
So they love about the internet, because like the government wants to try to police the internet and shut the internet down, but they can't. It's like its own monster now.
They will be able to if they want to.
They could do what China does.
Censorship of the internet is a possible thing.
It is China does all the time.
100% hope it doesn't happen. But like Trump was talking about how with the last stimulus bill they were trying to slip in internet censorship stuff, and that was a part of the reason why he was trying to allegedly shoot it down. I don't read into the policies. I don't read into the policies. I don't actually care about the policies. I'm just a fucking introspective person that sees things on the internet, honestly. But from what I gathered, he was talking about how he wanted 1, higher stimulus rate, and 2, he did not want the internet censorship stuff to go on. And it had something to do with, from my understanding, that like copyright stuff. So like Baby Yoda, for instance, being used in a meme, Disney would be able to somehow sue and acquire.
Oh, so it's just the big guys helping out the big guys. And
exactly. But he was against it, allegedly.
Greedy people are like, you know what? I can make some money off this.
It's a corporate. It really is. It's a corporate interest. It's a corporate interest. Like they don't want Baby Yoda being used for memes if they're not getting paid.
I'm a very big advocate of
5 cents a share or something crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Very big fan of Anonymous. I like them.
I don't believe in Anonymous anymore because they're just like a group of people. Just like
no, I'm not gonna agree with that. Like they're not who they used to be at all. By no means.
They were they had an image that I feel like they soiled themselves because they didn't live up to the expectation. Now, I will say some of the people that are involved in it that go into the deepfake shit and like try to expose as much as they can, like fucking super kudos to those people because they're fucking risking a lot to be able to risk espionage, basically. But
the government hates the internet, especially in America. That's why the Chinese are like, you know what? Nobody gets access to the internet at all. We control information.
What did you ever hear about Cicada 3301?
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I don't either. That sounds like a crazy.
So this group they were trying to create a competition to essentially it's steganography and counterintelligence.
I don't know what steganography is.
It's hiding data in plain sight. It's you're embedding data in images in different ways, embedding messages that it's a different form of encryption.
Binary shit.
it can be used for like military needs, any kind of thing like CIA needs, like actual counter terrorist groups use this stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But they were creating a unit, essentially a bunch of competitions that.
Like hacker stuff.
Yeah, essentially they wanted a group at the end to come up with a project, and this one guy went through it all. And the project was to create like a dead man switch. So if somebody had very key intelligence that if they died, needed to get out because their life was in jeopardy.
Like whistleblower shit.
Exactly. It could be uploaded to a server and just boom, just blasted out. And it was like
I mean, that needs to happen though, for sure. Like,
but you know, it's crazy. Edward Snowden even came out
they say if you see something, say something.
That's what the police tell you, but they don't really mean
it. If you work for those motherfuckers and you see something, you better fucking say something, because there's no reason you should be holding secrets that are against
Edward Snowden about that. Edward Snowden he's a real deal patriot.
The Snowden?
Yeah, Edward Snowden.
Absolutely.
He's a real deal
patriot.
But
look at him now. He's stuck in fucking Russia.
You know why? So
because
you try to fly to Argentina, so he listens to Joe Rogan like FaceTimes and whatnot. But it's very interesting. He talks about how he tried to go to like fly. It was Obama administration, bro. It was funny. Obama before that said he'd be like the least harshest on whistleblowers, and then it was on his like little Obama.com page, and then he whistleblew on them, telling them like the NSA was spying on all the American people, tapping into all their phones, all their cameras, everything, and build these little webs for like the same time as like.
I will say one day I feel like he's gonna be a chip of negotiation between Russia and.
He will. Putin has him. I guarantee Putin.
It's sad that that's gonna happen to that guy, because he did nothing but try and help us.
I guarantee Putin, because Obama didn't like whistleblowers. He didn't want to. Why would he?
None of them like whistleblowers.
No, they all hate them. And then he says that he was talking about how he tried to fly from here to Havana, Cuba, and then to Argentina, and then the Obama administration, or Joe Biden, I think it was, called, because Joe Biden was the vice president at the time, called whoever runs Havana, Cuba, and
it's not Castro anymore. I have
no, it's not Castro.
I have no idea.
Havana, Cuba, and they told him like if they would put sanctions on Cuba if they let him through, and so then he had to fly to Russia, and he got stuck in Russia. Like, he didn't mean to get there; he just got stuck in Russia, and so Putin gave him asylum, which was very interesting. Now he does like about to say, I guarantee
he's gonna use that.
I bet he uses. Yeah. I bet he uses it, because Edward Snowden is he's actually a really smart person. You'd want him to help you like build up stuff like a cybersecurity team for your country, and they're like, listen, you stay here, but I need something from you.
Well, eventually, though, I feel like he's gonna be.
He don't care about getting him back.
Yeah,
you know what Putin did one time to the owner of the Patriots? The owner of the Patriots went to the Kremlin. He had his Super Bowl ring on the owner of the Patriots, and Putin was like, "I don't think I can kill somebody with that. Like, can I see it?" So so the owner takes it off, hands it to him. It was under the Bush administration too. Takes it off, hands it to him. Putin's like, I like this. Puts it in his coat pocket and just keeps it. And he's like, wait, and then his KGB people kind of like.
You know, Putin started as the leader of the KGB, right?
He was a spy. Actually, that sounds like I said that. Never mind. I'm very interested in Black Putin. He's a very smart man, and he.
I'm pretty sure he led the KGB before he was a president, though.
No, so he was like a KGB agent. He was able to become like a governor of like a small town in the U.S. So like USSR at the time, and then he was able to get that position, move up to like a bigger, more like a government body, a governor, and he did that, and then he was able to, because that's when the oligarchs ruled Russia. So like all the rich billionaire oligarchs ruled Russia, and that's how like their power structure was for the longest time. And then Putin's the one that changed it, and then Putin, he rose to that. He was able to become president, but then they call it something, but it's like president, but the oligarchs were still running stuff. And then he ran his term, dropped down to vice president. I guess it's called something different. It's not vice president, but it's called something different. I can't remember. And he was able to
Prime Minister or something.
Yeah, he was able to flip like the power structure of Russia at the time. So he was able to he went through change legislation, allowed him to run for longer terms. and then he was able to push the oligarchs down to where he's on top. And then he does it all the time. Like he just did it recently, just like
I thought for sure I'd just seen something where he was like leading the KGB at one point.
I do know a lot about Putin. I don't know. I watched.
They were comparing him to Hoover or whatever, because Hoover was running the FBI, and then he was vice president and president or whatever.
What's his first name? Hoover's.
Vladimir.
I don't know. Hoover's.
Edgar.
Yeah.
KGB. Let's see. Putin worked as a KGB foreign intelligence officer for 16 years, right to the ranks of lieutenant colonel, before resigning in 1991 to begin a political career in St. Petersburg, Russia. He later moved to Moscow in 1996 to join the administration of President Boris Yeltsin, who actually the Russians did not like him very much because he was very good friends, buddy with the American people at the time. Well, American politicians didn't like him. I don't know why I know so much about Putin.
You're talking about like Cold War era shit, though.
Well, no, he started running for cabinet. Like he resigned from the KGB in 1991. So I mean, that's not that long ago. Like,
that's when the Chechen War and all the big Spetsnaz like units were getting a bunch of like on the ground training and shit.
Yeah, I was.
When did the Cold War end? Do you know?
I'm gonna say 1982 or 83.
I think that's a good guess. We'll see.
Maybe 85.
It is 1 till
94. No.
Cold War
ending. 91.
So it's right after the Cold War, because that's why he was a KGB agent until 1991. He was a part of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I obviously don't know anything, but I thought for sure they were saying he was like high up in the KGB, and that's
the Cold War from 1947 to 1991. Jeez, that's actually kind of wild.
It is.
I mean, do you know why they fight so much in Syria? Like why Putin wants the Assad. Putin wants to keep Syria because it's like a Navy port area. So like you understand, the military strategist, you would say, where his country's at, his sea line where he's Navy.
In order to be able to advance on certain people.
Yeah, it's frozen sometimes parts of the year.
Yes.
So he wants another port so he can move. Because every time he moves, America's smart about war.
Well, we have 800 military bases.
Yeah, we're just so smart about war. We're like very good. We're a very powerful warring country. That's all we do. We just have.
It's not necessarily smart about war. It's just like we're always advancing in war.
We'd be like the Iroquois Indians.
We know.
Back in the day, the Iroquois tribes were like monsters, like warlords.
America's like the Mayans were doing that shit.
The Aztecs did too, but we're talking like this North American, Native American.
Then you American, yeah.
Then you have the Mayans, the Incans, and the Aztecs. And the Aztecs were freaking beasts. The Aztec Jaguars, Beast Warriors. And then I don't really remember what the Mayans.
The Mayans had a long fucking reign, dude. It was like hundreds of years.
You mean the Aztecs, like the City of Gold Aztecs?
I'm pretty sure it was the Mayans had like hundreds of years.
El Dorado.
Maybe. Yes. No, so like the biggest fishes wars. Like remember that show called what is that called? It was like an old thing on Spike TV. Deadliest Warrior. Yes,
where they would pit random.
So was the Aztec Jaguars. They had the obsidian swords. So that's what little planks to put the obsidian in. Those are the Aztecs.
Against a Spanish conquistador, I still give a Spanish conquistador. They had flintlock weaponry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like
it's like a shit ton of silver too, dude. They were making armor out of.
They had rapiers. I literally like.
I don't agree with that. I think
they had ships. Big ass ships.
But they had plated armor.
Bro, the Indians destroyed all the colonial people. Like the only reason that they're
I don't know. I think it was like 50 conquistadors stood up into a city and took hostage the Maya or the Aztec leader.
The only reason
captured him.
I do know there's an island off of North Carolina that during the Spanish conquistador stuff going on, like one of their ships wrecked and they were shipping a bunch of gold horses.
Mackinac Island.
Maybe. And then the ship wrecked and all the horses fucking swam to this island and now there's natural like wild horses.
It's like Pig Island too, like Coast Island.
It is like that.
But all I'm gonna say is that the Native Americans destroyed all the European settlers, and the only reason that they died a lot is because of freaking disease like smallpox. And the European settlers were smart about it. They like gift like blankets and stuff with smallpox diseases all over it, and it could just wipe out massive amounts of the indigenous population because they're not used to those diseases. And so like
They did do that.
so there's like who was it? Rule over so like the redcoats would just march down the middle like some battle in Europe. You know, like people come to the battlefield and march in like a little uniform thing and fight each other. That's what they did. I don't know why. But
the redcoats are coming.
Right. So like the Native Americans were really good at guerrilla warfare. Like that's what all they did is guerrilla warfare. And like,
they would fucking ambush motherfuckers because they knew the forest though. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
you're talking about people that are just coming in on fucking fleets of ships and just landing and fucking fuck it. We're going into the fucking forest and we're gonna fucking take down what we can take down. Yeah, it's my motherfucking
woods. Hatches like they stuff in its
dude.
Beast Wars like the
Apocalypto is one of the craziest fucking movies.
It's really sad.
It is really super sad, but it also has somewhat of a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not really.
He ended up with his family.
Yeah, but then the settlers came.
Yeah, but you don't.
He's like facing another obstacle.
You don't make assumptions on that.
The Aztecs are already destroying everybody.
You don't make assumptions on that. You just are happy that he makes it back.
He finally got free, and then.
You
see the shit
probably fucked again, but you just hope that he took his family and fucking jetted out of it.
That's Apocalypto is probably my favorite movies. It's actually a very good movie.
What's crazy is it's directed by one of the most supposedly racist people.
Mel Gibson,
yeah, at all. You know what I'm saying?
Gibson's racist.
Allegedly, I don't know if it is or not, but
I don't know about that.
It's funny how that shit works.
Mel Gibson.
He's anti-Semitic, allegedly. For
sure. Like Jews.
I said allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah, that's what anti-Semitism is like. You know, like
against Jewish people.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, in his state of mind, he says that he's not against the religion of Judaism. He's against the religion of Hollywood, which is New Judaism, which is fake Judaism.
Cut that out with the me saying the Jews. I think it's like a bad term to say.
I'm gonna cut some of this out. We're at 40 minutes already.
I don't know what saying Jews is, honestly. Okay, I feel like it's the equivalent of saying blacks. Is that offensive?
I'm not going to buy it, but
I don't know. I'm asking.
I mean, people say like I would say I'm black.
I feel like it depends on context too.
I do hate as a black person saying people say like.
I hate
you're
that.
Not black. You're African American.
Like, I will say I hate that people are. I hate that people are summed up to a group of people. Period.
I hate when people say that. So like, what? Bro, going to school I went to, bro, I heard the most dumbest stuff in the world. And they asked me, but people would be like, one time they asked me, like, I don't know why I'm asking this question, but I do remember it's like this is terrible, like say, but like, actually, is your cum brown because you're black? And I'm like.
Is your fucking?
I'd be like,
motherfucker.
I would just be like, I'm not answering these questions. You're an idiot. Why would you ask me this question?
I just hate when people. I hate when people get summed up as a group of people.
We all took health class, guys.
You know what I'm saying? Like, culturally, I understand it.
Cut your arm off or some bleed out.
From an outside perspective of people who are referring to people as a different group of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's just shitty. Like, you should just be like, these people, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't refer to people.
I was gonna rub my hair too.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of that. I've had friends where I was like, can I touch your hair? It was out of natural curiosity, though. It's not out of...
I let the females touch my hair, but the funny thing is, I would like listen to those kids in class.
It wasn't out of like a fucking...
No, I understand, but like, if it was me, I give people ultimatums, like, listen, you touch my hair, you touch it.
You're gonna rub my balls also.
No, I'm gonna punch you. No, like, you can touch it if you want to, but I'm gonna punch you. And then they'd be like, I was like, or you don't touch it, and you won't get punched.
There was this kid, dude.
Hold on, or you don't touch it, and you won't get punched. And then he'd be like, and I'm like, boom! I just hit him hard. I hit my car in the body, like really hard. I just hit him like super, like boom. Dude. And like, what was that for? I was like, I told you. I gave you an ultimatum. You can touch my hair, you get punched. If you don't touch it, you don't get punched.
No, there's this kid named Frank Blank, and he was like, fucking had this elegant ass afro, dude. It was like cartoony elegant. You know what I'm saying?
Afro.
It was huge, and I was like, can I please touch it? It looks so soft.
I can understand that.
But like, he wasn't. At least I don't think he was offended about it. But You know, these are the types of things that people need to know. Like, are you overstepping people's boundaries? You know what I'm saying? Like, from a perspective of curiosity, like, I'm not, or I wasn't ever at least trying to offend anybody, but I was always curious. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this a baby Trey?
That's me in middle school, bro.
Man, you had that fucking mid cut.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
You know you were drawing the curiosity.
Let's see it.
Well, like everybody hates Chris.
Dude, if I had the fucking craziest like Led
I like one
Zeppelin.
with Jackson 6. That guy's follow me.
I had what you would call a lion's mane, and if people would have asked to touch my lion's mane, I would have been like,
That's hilarious in the group chat.
you could brush against it. You know what I'm saying? You could have a quick encounter, but you can't.
Oh shit! I'm trying.
You can't jump in there. You know what I'm saying?
You can't jump in there.
Don't be running your fucking fingers through my hair. Alright, I gotta show you my friend.
That's right. This lady gave us like skills. Or one teacher gave me like skills and stuff. I don't know. I'm a little middle school kid. I put all the skills in my hair because I could hide them. and then she said it was disrespectful to Miss Miller. Because I was like doing this. I was like, take it off. and like falling out. And she got really mad at me. I got in trouble. I was like, why is that? They're mine. I'm still gonna eat them. Like, why is this freaking candy that you gave me?
Mind your fucking business, bitch.
And my mom told me to tell you to mind your damn motherfucking business, bitch. That was too bitch. Long titty, no nipple having ass bitch.
There's a fucking.
Go on now. Oh. Handsome devil. It's on all these.
That's that line.
That's that Leonardo DiCaprio long hair.
Oh yeah.